You're watching The 7 from WATE 6 on your side.
Good evening, I'm Bo Williams, and welcome to The 7. Topping our list of Big 7 stories for you, the meeting between some of your state lawmakers and President Joe Biden. It happened this afternoon at the White House. President Biden had already spoken with Representatives Justin Pearson, Justin Jones, and Knoxville's Gloria Johnson via phone earlier in the month, but today's meeting happened in person. Now, the lawmakers, dubbed the Tennessee Three, faced expulsion from the State House over their protests supporting the call for gun law reform coming in response to the deadly shooting at Covenant School in Nashville. Johnson hung on to her seat by just a single vote, while Pearson and Jones were expelled by fellow House members, but then reinstated by leaders in their home communities, with special elections still ahead. Our D.C. Bureau reporter Rashad Hudson now takes us inside today's White House meeting.
It's an honor to have you all.
Monday, President Biden welcomed Tennessee Representatives Justin Pearson, Justin Jones, and Gloria Johnson to the Oval Office.
You're standing up for our communities, and democratic values.
After the shooting at a Nashville school that killed 6 people, the trio led a protest in favor of gun control on the State House floor. Republican state lawmakers responded by moving to expel them, earning the group the name the Tennessee Three.
What the Republican legislature did was shocking, it was undemocratic, and it was without any precedent.
President Biden applauded the state lawmakers for their defense of democracy and push for stronger gun laws.
It is a moral issue. It is about our children. It is about our schools.
After their expulsion, Jones and Pearson were reinstated by their local governments.
This is our Selma moment. This is a moment in which we have a state that just days after mass shooting chose to expel the 2 youngest black lawmakers rather than take action on common sense gun reform.
The Tennessee General Assembly adjourned this year's legislative session Friday without taking major action on gun control. But these three say their movement is only growing.
It's really lit a fire in Tennessee, and people are motivated. Students are active, and they're showing up.
Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson.
And as Rashad just mentioned, the General Assembly wrapped up its session last Friday without passing Governor Bill Lee's proposal for expanded orders of protection aimed at keeping dangerous people from getting their hands on guns. But Governor Lee said almost immediately that he would call a special session. Now, we don't know yet when that session will start, but of course, we will keep you posted and stay on top of this. Well, our next big story for you, a local version of that gun debate happening tonight at Knox County Commission. The meeting happening right now at the Knoxville City County building downtown. You're looking at a live picture right now, and on tonight's agenda, a resolution to support the governor's call for gun reform. The resolution was proposed by Commissioners Daisha Lundy and Courtney Durrett, and it urges the local legislative delegation to back those orders of protection, which the governor says would still allow for due process and not violate Second Amendment rights. And we have a crew inside that meeting for you, and we're going to hear from commissioners tonight at 11 o'clock. As for Governor Lee, he was in Chattanooga today touting a change to state law aiming at speeding up adoptions. There, he was asked about how he plans to move his expanded orders of protection through the legislature in a special session, having some amount of support in the state Senate, but an almost sure roadblock in the House.
What's important is that we look at what we all agree upon. That's the place to start. There needs to be a way to separate those who are a danger to others and to themselves from access to weapons and protect the rights, in particular Second Amendment rights, of Tennesseans.
Governor going on to tell reporters he does not have a time frame for the special session, but we'll speak with lawmakers in the weeks ahead to make that decision. Now, also today, we wanted to get more local perspective on the chance of the session producing results. We managed to get in touch with Democrat Sam McKenzie and Republican Jason Zachary.
Now, what I am completely in favor of is ensuring that those with serious mental illness and what we would call in code mental defectiveness, that's how we reference it in Tennessee code, that those people are separated from their firearms, that those people who have been adjudicated mentally defective or have serious diagnosed mental illness do not have access to a weapon. But there has got to be a way that we walk through that again preserves due process, preserves your Second Amendment rights, while also separating that person from their weapons.
Well, what I want to make sure is that we do something. I don't want to do something unsubstantial. Now is the time to truly take the weapons out of people's hands that may be having a mental episode, there may be some mental illness. but to make it so prescriptive, which I think a lot of folks on the other side of the aisle wants to do in terms of the process. I definitely want it to be responsible. I'm not trying to take any responsible gun owners' guns away, but we've got to get in front of this.
And again, we're going to keep following the debate for you and let you know when the governor officially calls lawmakers into that special session. Our next Big 7 story for you tonight, a worksite tragedy we want to get you up to date on. The Blount County Sheriff's Office tells us a forklift rolled off a driveway, killing the operator in the process. This accident, we're told, happened on Wesley Way around 2:30 this afternoon. The forklift reportedly rolling down a hill. Now, we don't know the operator's name. Of course, we'll let you know as more information comes out. Our next big story for you tonight, county and city mayors partnering up to help people in danger of losing their homes or who are already experiencing homelessness. The mayor's announcing that they have set up the new Office of Housing Stability. Erin Reed, director of that office, saying today her main job will be connecting and coordinating resources across both the city and the county. She wants to see homelessness become rare, brief, and not recurring over and over again. It's an effort built on decades of past work and with help of lots of organizations. Reed talked to us about the issues driving homelessness and what this new office brings to the mission.
It has a lot to do with rising housing costs. We're seeing a lot more evictions. We're seeing more people slip into homelessness simply from losing their housing due to affordability concerns. One of my biggest personal goals is to expand how we integrate input from individuals who are homeless or who have lived experience with homelessness. Because I feel like we can't improve our programs unless we talk with the people who are going to be using those programs.
In the last 2 years, the city and county have invested more than $80 million in response to housing instability and homelessness. $14.5 million has been set aside to help people experiencing homelessness. Our next Big 7 story, taking stock of the big forces on the minds of people buying, selling, or renting a home. One local realtor today describing spring as the busiest time of year for the housing market across the country. And the challenges she's seeing for people in the home buying market range really from price to just being able to find an available home at a time when they can be scarce.
What we're starting to see, inventory overall, year over year, down 48%. That is a 48% decrease in available listings for sale, meaning that's a decrease in available homes to buy.
As to how to fix the issue, Hurley says more homes need to be built quickly. Our next big story for you, big events happening in Knoxville for the last time in the foreseeable future. The Bassmaster Classic is already in the books, as you know. City is now looking forward to the USA Cycling Pro Road Nationals. That's coming up for you in June. Visit Knoxville telling us today that the Bassmaster tournament alone pulls in nearly 164,000 visitors to Knoxville. The combined economic impact the events have on the city is enormous as well, and they will certainly be missed in 2024. But Visit Knoxville is already lining up some exciting new events for next year that presents new opportunities to put all eyes on the scruffy city. That includes a stop for some big-time athletes hoping to make a splash at the 2024 Olympics.
We have booked USA Diving Olympic Trials for 2024. It's almost in the same date pattern as USA Cycling, and it probably has an even greater reach in the promotions. So that's kind of how we'll continue to tell the story of why you should visit Knoxville.
Visit Knoxville says the number of youth sports tournaments and several big conventions are also already on the books for next year.